Hi guys, Jared here with Day Traders FX. It is time for the daily video and we've got some good setups and some really good stuff to be looking at. You can see that we had a pretty good day in the market so far. We still have a little ways before the close, but so far the Dow's up about 100 points, looking pretty solid there. S&P's up 10 or so. Oil's just hanging around under that $90 mark. So looks like things are starting to rally just a little bit, and that should help some of these other setups that we're about to talk about to rally towards a little bit of dollar weakness. Just a little look, we had a bit of news out today. We're kind of past all the major news for today. Coming into the UK session and tonight and the US session tomorrow morning, retail sales for the UK. That's going to be a big mover. It always is, and so we're going to keep an eye on that and just make sure that things are looking good there. So if you have any pound dollar setups, just make sure you're aware of that news. And then we have unemployment claims and existing home sales and the Philly Fed. So those are all decent movers coming up in the next couple of hours, or excuse me, coming up at the U.S. Open tomorrow. So. Nothing else coming in today, just hopefully some nice steady movement and some nice little follow-throughs on some of these. Particularly, we're looking at the euro dollar this morning, and I've been talking about this over and over and over again, and it is getting a break and an open. It's about 11:30 right now, almost 11:30, so I want to make sure that we can close above this level, but I have no problem just buying if we can get a nice close above 22.65 on the euro dollar. I think that the fact that this has continued to make higher lows and nice double bottom, and it's just kind of coming up slowly but surely, and it keeps kind of testing these levels. I think the euro dollar is ready for a short-term bottom. We've got this channel, and it's been coming out of this channel pretty nicely, and so far once it broke out, it never really got too much back in the channel. It dipped back in for just a moment. And it's now just kind of testing the outer parts of this channel. So I'm looking for a continuation and a break of this little short-term trend line that we can see right here. And basically all I want to see is this level that's really been in play and very important the last several days, 122.65. If we can get a nice clean open above that, then I think we're headed into 12300 as our first stop. And then if we can get an open above 12300, then we should be headed into about 123.40 and 50 area. So keep an eye on that. That's going to be the spot to look for a continuation of this movement. But for right now, the very short-term stuff, let's just make sure this 1 hour candle can open above, and we'll trade it into 12300. Should be a nice little run there. So that's what I'm looking for at this point. Really not super interested in any selling opportunities unless it kind of bounces off this 12300 in the next several hours, which could happen. But really, I think our best opportunity here is to buy above this, trade it up to 12300, and hopefully through 12300 into about 123.40, 50. So we're going to keep our eye on that. Pound dollar is looking kind of interesting. We're currently in this trade actually, and we got in at the break of this daily pivot, and it's kind of slowly working its way up. We're looking for an initial profit target of about 30 pips up into this 156.60, 65 area. But I also think that the pound dollar could be pretty good if we get a break above 156.65. If we can get some candles opening above this, I think we're going to see a rally on this pair. You can see if we look at the daily fibs here, you can see that is that big upper level is the 38% fib, and if we get a break of that, I think we may be headed into this 50 and even beyond. So I'm going to be looking for a break higher on the pound dollar and getting past this 38% fib, and I think we're going to be able to do it. So that's what we want to kind of keep our eye on. Otherwise, I'm going to keep an eye on this trend line as well. If it starts to break below this trend line, then fine, we'll be ready for that also. But I think this is going to be something to keep a really close eye on for the moment. We have some nice specific levels on this euro yen as well. This thing's been very, very choppy, but we have some interesting stuff to look at. 96.45 has been a super, super important level over the last several days at this point. You can see that it hit here, made a little bit of a break, but on the 4-hour chart never opened below, and then hit here again. So every single day it's hit this level for 5 days now. So this is an important one. So what I want to see is possibly an open. There's those little wicks, so we still didn't have that open. I want to see an open on this 4-hour chart below 96.45. That will be our sell opportunity. 4-hour candle opening below 96.45. Otherwise, I think we're going to trade right back up to this 97.25. Ultimately, I want to see a 1 hour candle open above 96.25, or excuse me, 97.25, and that will give us a continuation. But also in the short term, we've got some little kind of short term trend lines and so on that I think are going to be interesting to keep an eye on. And if we start to get this euro yen breaking and holding above about 96.70, 75, right in that general area, maybe even 96.80, I think this pair will float back up to that 97.25 level once again. So keep an eye on that. That's where we're going to be looking for some short-term activity, is above about 96. 75, 80, right in that general area. Otherwise, like I said, 4-hour open below 96.45, and we're going to sell the heck out of this thing for a lot of pips. And there should be a very, very big movement down on that one. And then last but not least, we do have the Aussie dollar, which is kind of setting up nicely. I haven't been in the Aussie dollar much the last few days. It's kind of working its way up this channel, and it looks like it's making a nice run for it. You'll remember from the daily video yesterday, I talked about getting an open above 10300, and we got that open above 10300. It pulled back just a tiny bit, but now it's running very nicely. So our level played out very, very well above that 10300. And it's just playing out nicely. So it's making a very, very good little run here. So we called that run, and looks like it's continuing. I think 103, or excuse me, about 10400 should be some interesting targets, and I think that it could rally even further. So we're going to keep a close eye on that. And then last but not least, we have gold. Gold has kind of continued to break out, and it's staying around this 1570, 75 area. If we get back above this trend line and above this also infamous level of 1585, which we've really had a hard time kind of staying above on gold, then I think we may see a larger rally into 1600 and potentially beyond. But keep an eye on gold. Remember, if we see a nice rally on gold, that can really help some of these upward movements on the euro dollar, pound dollar, euro yen pairs, and so on. But if gold stays down, then these other pairs may continue to kind of stay a little bit soft as well. Remember, this euro dollar, we want to see an open above this level, and it looks like we're having trouble once again. We still have a half hour left, so if this is going to close below the same level that it's tested many, many times, don't be in a rush to get into this. It may take an hour, it may take 2 hours, it may take 3 hours, but just wait for an open above that level, and that could happen in the Asian session. It could happen in the next open of the next 1 hour candle, but let's be ready to buy above this level. So we have some great trades and some great setups, and I'm really looking forward to it. And remember, tomorrow, Thursday, we have a live update that everybody is welcome to join, and it should be fun and have some good information for everyone, and we'll have some live trades coming. But keep an eye on these levels, make sure you're ready for them, and we'll see you guys in the chat. Thanks a bunch, everyone.